Welcome to this episode of the Kofax RPA Deep Dive series. I'm Jesper Scherpenhuizen, and in this episode I want to dive into Kofax RPA robots that are leveraging the capabilities of the IBM Cloud Natural Language Understanding platform, which is quite a mouthful. So for the remainder of this video, I'll just call it Watson because that's what people come to know. I'm going to do this video fairly similar to the Google video I've done before and the Microsoft Azure video that's going to follow up on this one. All of these can be watched separately, standalone, no worries about that. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to talk about the prerequisites. I'm going to show you how to build a small, well, let's call it a proof of concept robot that's just leveraging the Watson capabilities. And then I'm going to show you a robot that's leveraging Watson in a broader context that's actually leveraging even more of the Kofax Intelligent Automation platform and could be considered a real world example. And as always, if you've got any questions, feel free to reach out to me afterwards. I'll try to add as many of the links that I'll mention here in the description below. But again, if there's anything missing, let me know and I'll update it ASAP. Thanks so much. So first off, regarding prerequisites, well, we're going to talk about Kofax RPA and Watson. So the first thing you're going to need is a Kofax RPA installation. For those of you who don't have that yet, have a quick look at the kofax.com website. And the first thing you're going to see is the Get Your Free Trial. So if you click that link, you'll be guided through this small, questionnaire, this form, fill it out, and within a couple of minutes you'll get an email with your personal license, which is going to be valid for 12 months, and the installation media. Keep in mind, this is the real deal. So that there are no features missing. This trial installation will have everything that the, let's call it the real Kofax RPA solution has as well. So you'll have access to everything. The orchestrator, the management console, design studio, runtime, robo service, you name it. It's going to be valid for 12 months, so go and grab it. The next thing you're going to need is you're going to need to have access to the Watson platform. So if you go to ibm.com/watson/services/natural language understanding, you'll be guided if you just click the link Get Started for free. The first thing you'll then do is you'll either use your existing ibm.com credentials or you register there for free, no strings attached. And the next thing you need to do is you'll need to say, okay, I want to register for natural language understanding. Go for the light pricing plan. That's going to give you 30,000 annual use for free per month. Once you've got that, you'll need to go to the manage part of the platform where you'll need to grab the URL and the API key. Keep in mind that with that API key, you will only have access to this specific localized gateway. So this is the one in Frankfurt, which is the closest gateway for me in the Netherlands. I could have also opted for one in the UK, or maybe maybe one in Australia or anywhere else in APAC, but this is the one closest by to me. And again, do not share your API key with anyone else. Don't put it in a screenshot. Don't put it on a YouTube video. But Jesper, you're showing us yours right now. Yeah. What I'm going to do is I'm going to throw this one away after I've recorded this video. You can do that. So if anything happens and you do, for whatever reason, share your API key, you can just remove it and create a new one. No worries about that. So once you've got those in place, you can then have a quick look at the documentation, and you can see all of the capabilities that you have available to you with the, let's call it the out of the box natural language understanding platform. So in this episode, I'm going to focus on entity extraction as well. The nice thing about entity extraction utilizing Watson is you're also going to get entity sentiment. You could have done that with the Google platform as well, but then you needed to daisy chain a couple of web service calls in series, which went beyond the simple how-to video I wanted. So just keep that in mind. You could do the same thing, but here you just get them with the same ease as well. So you'll have Kofax RPA installed and configured. You'll have your Watson URL and API key, and with that, you're going to be ready to go. So without further ado, let's open up Design Studio. So as they do in cooking shows, I've prepared something. If you remember what I did with the Google API, you saw I just used the out-of-the-box call rests web service RPA step. For Watson, I've tried that as well, but I kept struggling, and then I actually made the decision to use the same thing that was described in the Watson tutorials, and that was just to use curl. Curl is a command line utility you can use to do HTTP calls. So what I've got here is I've got a lot of housekeeping here in front of it because I want to make sure I was putting the right payload into Watson. So I'm going to grab a template JSON. I'm going to update that. I'm going to execute the actual command line. So what you'll actually kind of see in that command line is I actually just call curl and I'll tell that just post something to that gateway URL here. That's the one that we got from the Watson website. Put in your API key, grab the input file, which is actually the payload JSON that you're going to see here. So which is nice because you'll see that it's just the text that we want to have analyzed. In this case, I'm using a hard-coded text that I'm reading from a parameter, but this could of course be coming from anywhere. And you then just give a lot of the other configurations here. So I'm actually telling this, okay, give me all the entities and make sure that you give me the sentiment back as well and limit it to 50 entities at maximum. I'm going to execute that and it's going to write that to the file system as well, from where I can again load it as well. So I can extract that and open up that output and loop through it. So here we have the entities that were extracted from that text. So it's Michael Ira Asen, so that's the lawyer in that text that I submitted to it. It's a person. It's going to give me the relevance. And this is, of course, a nice thing because in Google, we were talking about salience and Watson is now talking about relevance. So what's the big difference between that? And I've, again, Google was my big friend here, is what's the actual difference? And they're actually synonymous. So you can use them and you can intermix them if you want. And you also have, as we mentioned, you'll have the sentiment. So with the actual numerical score and a human readable description. So in this case, we're talking about Michael in a positive manner. That's of course true because this is a piece of text that was written by Michael's office. So makes sense that would be positive, talking about him. And then you just extract all of the values there, which you can then do whatever you want. So in this example, I'm just going to return those values. Just debug it, and you'll see all of the entities now being passed back. Extremely straightforward. Crime, shoplifting, but that's neutral. And that makes sense because this is a lawyer probably defending whoever was accused of shoplifting, and he needs to make that sound neutral. So that was something I found funny. Okay, well, this is all nice. As I said, purely proof of concept worthy. Can Kofax RPA leverage IBM Watson or the IBM Cloud Natural Language Understanding platform? The answer is yes. So the next thing I want to do is I want to put this in a broader context. So the scenario I thought of was, here we've got a website containing a lot of legal documents. So we'll have documents of mixed, well, of mixed sources. So this is a real image document. This is the one from Michael Ira Asen. And as you can see, some things are redacted. This is just an image. There's no text layer there whatsoever. Another document, multi-page, fully text enabled. Here we've got a letter from the office from the Supreme Court Justice, Sandra Day O'Connor. And again, it's just an image. Let's see what we can do with that. One from New Scotland Yard and another one. So what we're going to have is we're going to have our Kofax RPA robots going through that web page and looping through all of these documents, extracting the name of the document from the website. We're going to grab the actual PDF document or the TIFF or the whatever kind of format you have. What we're then going to do is we're going to submit that to the Kofax RPA Cognitive Document Automation platform. It's called Document Transformation Services, which is now an integral part of Kofax RPA. What that's going to do is going to analyze the document and get the data out of that document. And we're going to then use that data and submit that to IBM Watson. And in the end, we're going to get all of the entities and the sentiments, and we can then deliver those downstream. The reason why I chose this process is because if I go back to the slides, this fits every aspect of business process automation. So we're going to have a robot that's acquiring all these documents. We'll have Kofax RPA, cognitive document automation, to process that document and start the actual analysis and actually get the data out of that document. Then we're going to have IBM Watson doing the entity extraction and the NLP analysis on that text, and then we're going to deliver that to a downstream system. In this case, the downstream system is nothing more than a flat text file, but with the same ease, we could have dropped this off at an ERP system or a legal system there whatsoever. If you want to learn more on how to deliver these data points or this data in a natural language way to a stakeholder, let's have a look at one of the other videos I've got on Kofax CCM or on Kofax RPA if you want to integrate with other systems. Without further ado, let's give this a quick test so we can just switch to debugging, and what we'll then do is we'll just open up the text file. So this is that text file that we'll keep open. So right now it's just grabbed the first document, and as you can see, it's now analyzing that document. It's submitted that to the Cognitive Document Automation capability, DTS, on this server as part of Kofax RPA, and it's just going to do all of the extraction now. So you saw that run through the first document. It's now working on the second one. So let's switch to Notepad++, and it's going to give us the entities that it found on that document. So again, it was Michael Iraisen, so that's the lawyer in whose name that office was registered. It's got the law offices as an organization, Greenville location, Walmart, the company. So you can now see how this is thinking about all these entities that have been extracted from that document. Things like quantities, another person there. And it's now analyzing the second one, the grievance complaint. And it's already working on the penultimate document. So let's switch back to this and let's update that document. So the second document, it's about Terry Crisp. He's regarded in a negative way because I think he was the defendant here. The other one was make a difference. That's that letter, that inspiring letter from that Supreme Court justice. So this is actually the author of the document, so Sandra Day O'Connor. And apparently she's been talking about her fairly neutral, but she's been talking about this Professor Harry Rathbun in a very positive manner. So this is just nice looking at how Watson is leveraging all of that information there as well. So let's do it the final way. And you'll see that in the Scotland Yard response, a couple of nice things. It's apparently Scotland Yard is talking about the Police Complaints Authority in a negative way, which is, well, again, something that I really like. So I can go on and on about what we've seen here. Let's go back and just do a quick recap on what we've done here. So we talked about what you need to have in place if you want to have a Kofax RPA robot leveraging IBM Watson or any of those capabilities. Of course, in this scenario, I've talked about entity extraction and a named entity sentiment analysis. But the same thing can be applied to all of the other capabilities that the IBM Cloud Natural Language Understanding platform has to offer. So with that in mind, have a quick look and leverage the proof of concept robot that we've presented here today. And if you want, I can make the end-to-end process available to you too. Again, I hope you enjoyed this. If you like it, like it. If you don't like it, dislike it, and give me some feedback. Again, any questions, drop them down below. Love to get some feedback. Thanks everyone for your time, and see you in the next video. Cheers. Bye bye.